So welcome to this update to today's little video on the tropics. And as you can see, EPAC's still relatively quiet. You can see there's a lot of wind shear and there's a lot of dry air right now. And you have this high pressure to the north, bringing some I wouldn't say record and typical summer heat to them. This is a somewhat typical inactive period pattern. So you can see this high pressure area bringing some typical summer heat to them. Western United States where I live, and then you can see, however, there are some signs of actually picking up across the Pacific. Let's talk about the East Pacific for a little bit, where as I mentioned in the past. No, let me talk about this right now. So this is pretty much the Kelvin wave situation. You can see there's a Kelvin wave in this West Pacific area, and this Kelvin wave is kind of supposed to branch out a little bit, and eventually reach Eastern Pacific on June 30th, and there's a chance that models may start picking up on stuff. Even though I don't explicitly see anything, there's a chance, just because the models, like the GFS right here, has... This is a few runs old, but this is what the GFS is initializing right now. You can see a lot of wind shear preventing any tropical wave that tries to form. That's the intertropical version zone, even this time of year is inverse. For such an active season, I was expected unusually quiet. However, in a couple days, the shear is supposed to start relaxing a little bit, and conditions are supposed to become more favorable. So we may have to watch the intertropical burden zone if one of the supplies pop-up storms, like we got a couple times last year with Tropical Storm Fausto and Tropical Storm Wally. So, as you can see, the Canadian model. We're starting to pick us on Mars. We're picking up on stuff to spiral this. Even though I do definitely think we could have one of those pop-up systems, because it's happened in the past where, like Hurricane Norbert, for example, in 2014 didn't have developed anyway, despite there not being too much moral support. In addition, also, not to mention that Fausto and Wally didn't have much model support either, and even the major outburst, the lead time on computer models wasn't that good. It was about like 5 to 7 days, which isn't that impressive. The lead time on the on the first few storms were like Genevieve, Hernan. The lead time on those systems was like about 3 to 5 days. No, more I should call it about 5 days. So it wasn't that impressive. Revenue, even the Canadian model, which is the most bullish of all our models, doesn't show nearly as much on the most recent one. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm not going to say the systems are guaranteed to form, because it's not. Even conditions don't look that, even in a week, conditions don't look the greatest. The forecasts will start improving as time goes on, but they actually have a very, very favorable East Pacific that, even though it's in about 2 weeks, which is actually quite strange, quite mind-blowing why the GFS is not showing any storms. You can see the North American monsoon flow staying engaged in here. Some very warm ocean waters. You can see some wind shear to the north, but that's not going to have a significant impact. You can see extremely favorable environment to the south along the southwestern portion of the basin. This is a very typical active hurricane season El Nino setup. Even this, you can see the Central Pacific, that's supposed to await, which is where the Kelvin wave is coming. So there have been some model hints at possibly something in the Central Pacific. You can see lowering pressures, lowering heights along south of Hawaii, and even a little bit into the Eastern Pacific here, as shown by the GFS one yesterday. You can see it starts moving into the Eastern Pacific a little bit. So I would not be surprised if we all of a sudden start seeing models all of a sudden getting bullish on a number of tropical cyclones in a few days. But I've thought this way for a while, and it hasn't happened yet. So I'm not totally convinced on this happening either. You can see the conditions are supposed to be very, very favorable for development. You can see a very classic El Nino set with some very warm waters, and that would result in significant intensification for any system that really tries to get going. Yeah, If we get lucky, there's a chance for the first time in human history the 27C isotherm. If we get lucky, there's a chance. I think I will show you some sea surface temperature maps later, but the 27C isotherm makes it above the end mark. And as a result, that really lets the Hawaii door get wide open. And you can see here, look at however, I always know that the most activity right now is concentrated in the West Pacific. You can see there's quite a few prospects of tropical cyclones supposed to form in the future with Invest 94 and 85W. Here's 94W, and that probably has the greatest chance of developing of the. I'll show you a visual shot here. You can see there's some evidence of organization, some signs of organization. It's not great. The upper level alpha isn't too impressive, but I think there's a chance the system could become the next system in the West Pacific. I mean, there's also Invest 95U, which is a little bit more broad and hasn't really consolidated, but the models are quite bullish on these systems. You can see, you look at the GFS ensembles that's and over the West Pacific over the next few weeks. The GFS ensembles, I mean, they're probably overdoing it because right now it kind of keeps MGO in this part of the world a little bit longer than a little bit more West Pacific based than like the other models in about 2 weeks from the time. And the GFS tends to get very bullish during these El Nino pulses. Not El Nino pulses, but these MGO pulses. The GFS gets too bullish even in the long range. It doesn't both. Does in the East Pacific too, but it does in the West Pacific too, as what more so. But imagine if this verified. Use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 systems. I mean, these are ensemble members, so few of these could be just still, and you have this crap in the Philippines too. I mean, these are ensemble members, so there could be quite a few systems. A couple of these could be the same system, but still. Even let's look at even the no gaps model, which is probably one of the worst models out there. Even that's still pretty bullish. And it's about 2 systems in here at 180, and a train of systems close to the Philippines, and with an upper level high to the north that will allow pretty favorable environmental loft, but systems to get going with the right timing with the Kelvin wave followed by MGO pattern. Entering, as I've talked about in previous videos, that's a very favorable pattern. That's the pattern that's affecting the West Pacific right now. It's likely to cause the Central and Western Pacific, even the Eastern, even to a lesser extent, the Central Pacific to go bonkers in the upcoming weeks. I mean, even let's look at some of the GFS ones. They've been pretty conflicting on 94W, which they have a very powerful system a couple runs ago, but they backed off into a lesser powerful system, like a more modest system. Now they don't really do that much with it at all. Or they actually just does, but I mean, they're so developed that they keep it relatively weak and they keep it in the 95W. So it's worse than they have these 94W and 95W interacting a little bit. And that can kind of cause the model solutions to start backing off on stuff into the Fort Wheeler effect. There's sometimes this happens, but not always. I mean, usually what ends up happening is 1 and 2 systems become very strong. It's usually the one the models first sniff out, from my experience. And that ends up becoming as strong as originally anticipated, so I would not rule out. I still wouldn't rule out, especially given the fact this is an El Nino year, the possibility of a typhoon in this part of the world. And I think that might do for this video. Hold on, I have everything else I wanted to show. Here's the sea surface temperature map. Hold on, let me refresh. And you can see some very warm waters here. You can see some very warm waters in this part of the world. With a very warm ocean. You can see some very warm waters for this time of year in this part of the world. You can see some very unusually high oceanic key content, some very high, what do you want to call it? Very high tropical cyclone potential. And here's the better look at the sea surface temperature, Central Pacific Mountains. This is what I was talking about. You have that 26C isotherm extending almost to Hawaii, making it possible in late June, increasingly possible for the system to go the Hawaii route successfully without any kind of serious issues. Now, I mean, through June, these waters are probably warming up in about a few weeks. If they warm up a little bit more, like the 26C isotherm mixes the 25C isotherm, 27 mixes the 26C isotherm, then I think Hawaii's door is extremely open, and that could allow a number of possible hurricane, maybe even major hurricanes to Hawaii from either the east or the east, southeast, or south, or southwest. It's something that we've never really quite had before, and that can be really huge. And that's just, I think, interesting the Hawaiian Islands should monitor the season extra carefully. Just because they've had some unusually high temperatures in Hawaii as of late due to this. And I mean, so as such, we're looking at a potentially scary hurricane season for Hawaii, as because the fact that EPAC is a little bit warmer in Spain, even in its heyday in the 80s and 90s, were probably similar to, if not slightly warmer than it was in its heyday in the 80s and 90s. And that's when Hawaii got hit somewhat regularly. And that's going to kind of happen again over the next few years if the trends continue, just because of how warm the ocean is now. I mean, the old saying used to be a system from the Hawaii can never approach from the east. I think that's false, if the sea surface temperatures can keep it up. I think it's very possible, especially given the fact that the systems sometimes have low wind shear. You often have the infamous Great Hawaiian shear that often disrupts these systems. Every once in a while you can get a system that makes a very low wind shear out here and allows it, and it only weakens, and even though there is dry air out there, the system that may prevent a major hurricane if the air is moist enough and the wind shear is low enough and the waters are 26C. I don't see any significant reason why at least the Category 1 or 2 hurricane could at least make it pretty close to the Hawaiian Island group. Anyhow, that'll wrap up this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye. Bye.